Network. Welcome back for today's Farm and Ranch News. As beef and pork processing facilities continue to suspend or cut back on protein production, many producers and consumers across the nation are concerned about the impact this will have on the nation's food supply. This week, Secretary of Agriculture Sonny Perdue assured the nation that the food supply is safe and abundant and that USDA is working to make sure beef and pork will be processed.
In that vein, there's been a lot happening this week as COVID-19 is impacting food processing facilities, as you know. For Americans who may be worried about access to good food because of this, I want to assure you the American food supply is strong, resilient, and safe. And in fact, our food supply chain has shown tremendous agility in shifting production and logistics so suddenly from restaurant and institutional settings to retail settings. To all the employers out there in this sector, it's critical that you follow CDC guidelines and guidance and best practices to keep all of your employees and people safe and healthy. To employees and local public health officials advising them, the CDC has issued guidelines on how to mitigate a situation if you have a positive case in one of your facilities. We need our local health authorities and our state health authorities to do everything they can to balance the demand of keeping our facilities operational and our critical industries going, while at the same time keeping the health and safety of employees as a top priority, as well as our communities.
Secretary of Agriculture Perdue stressed that there is no shortage of food in the United States.
In the United States, we have plenty of food for all of our citizens. I want to be clear. The bare store shelves that you may see in some cities in the country are a demand issue, not a supply issue. And it's taken us a few days to relocate the misalignment between institutional settings and grocery settings. But that does not mean that we don't have enough food in this country to feed the American people.
Now, Perdue also said that he wants to purchase dairy, meat, and other foods from producers and distribute them to food banks and even into international humanitarian aid programs. As for the billions of dollars in the CARES Act relief funding for agriculture, sources say USDA may roll out details of the plan Friday. The relief is expected to include $9.5 billion for livestock producers. We'll be right back. Returning back today, we all know that it takes a labor force to make sure food makes it to consumers. This week, U.S. Senators Jon Tester and Steve Daines are applauding a decision by USDA and the Department of Homeland Security to amend certain H-2A ag guest worker visa requirements to support Montana agriculture employers and protect American food security during the coronavirus pandemic. Under this temporary rule, certain H-2A employers will be able to hire workers who are already certified under the H-2A program. This rule allows the Citizenship and Immigration Services to allow certified H-2A workers to stay in the country beyond the 3-year maximum currently in place. These provisions will be put in place to mitigate the impact of travel restrictions on seasonal workers who are unable to come to the U.S. and work for ag producers. Agriculture groups say the flexibility is critical for farmers and ranchers who are battling unprecedented uncertainty from COVID-19 and need a steady supply of labor to keep the U.S. food supply chain stable. Well, friends, that's all for today's Farm and Ranch News. Have a great day, everyone.